Hello, my friends. This is Father Benedict, retired Episcopal priest and monk, Benedictine monk in the Episcopal Church. You may have seen me in a previous meditation where I talked about playing with God. Or you may have caught the second meditation examining our human nature and how all the parts fit together and how the soul reaches for the divine presence. This time I would like to put before you a heavier session. Inevitably, as we live our lives, we come upon something dark or heavy or very overwhelming. It might involve our body, it might involve our inner manager, the ego, as I say, or it might involve the mind, which finds some incomprehensible problem that it has to deal with. So it might also involve the soul, which begins to doubt, is there a loving God if I have all these problems, or the world has all these problems? So today I want to examine what we do with a very heavy, dark issue that might show up in our lives. Usually, it's almost nameless, although we can blame somebody for it. But as we examine the issue, it's just dark and heavy, incomprehensible, and insoluble. So I've done a little ticket here to show you a human being, body, mind, spirit, and in the middle of the human being I put a dark circle surrounded by more darkness. But in the middle you'll see a reddish dot. What I want to suggest is whatever the practical intellectual analysis of the problem is, you probably can't solve it easily. You've probably already tried that, or maybe you had resort to professionals or talked to informed friends, and you've tried all their things. You may even have a medical problem which your doctor is trying to treat. So what comes to mind now is, how do I, as a person, deal with this heavy, dark, insoluble problem? So I've tried to indicate that on the card. You have this dark, heavy thing that defies solution, resolution, and I'm going to suggest a very daring idea. Rather than trying to get rid of the problem or the issue, which you've already tried, no doubt, consider this possibility. As you look at the problem, the issue, make a little space inside the problem, at the center of it all. And there, in the center, put a little red dot. And that dot stands for God. And you wonder, well, what good will this do? If you can find God in the middle of the problem or issue, number one, you're not trying to deal with it alone. You have a companion. And you have a companion who is totally sympathetic, compassionate, deeply, profoundly concerned with your problem, then why doesn't that God, who's supposed to be love, take away the problem? Well, I can't fully answer that, but the conclusion I come to is he doesn't want to take away our problems, he wants to share them. So if we can find a space inside the darkness, the issue, and see God there, and just prayerfully, quietly touch God in the problem, and keep touching God, as I suggest in a daily mental program, a few minutes a day, touch God, not only playfully and examining all our humanity, but touch God in the deep, heavy darkness. And just sit there. We don't have to solve the problem. We don't have to understand it. We have no power to remove it. But sit there on the edge and touch God and see what God wants to do with that problem. He will ease our mind. He will ease our anxiety and our worry. And he will slowly reveal to us some deep mysteries about love, how love carries, deep mysteries about our own life, what part we might have in the occurrence of this darkness, while not blaming ourselves or criticizing ourselves, how we might have had a part in allowing this darkness. Or a more corporate, collective explanation might be, we are being allowed to share in the darkness and the heaviness and the violence and the chaos of the world. God has chosen to show us how he resides in the whole world's darkness and chaos, and is giving us a little share in that. In any case, we just sit by the darkness, not intensely involved with it, but just sitting quietly, touching God, and in time learning how God handles the darkness in ourselves and in the whole world. That will return us to our initial program, playing with God and being involved with our whole humanity, body, mind, and spirit, and deepen our joy that God is truly love. I'll say goodbye for now.